Welcome to Love and Money Secrets TV, and I am so happy and excited. We have reached 6,000 views in the last 30 days on Quora. So I am a little behind here on answering your questions, and one of the things I told myself I was committing to in 2020 was not only responding in terms of writing written responses to you, but I also wanted to give you a video so that I could include that in the written response. And I know that a lot of people appreciate the videos more so than the written responses. So let's see if we can do 15 minutes of answers here, and we can just plow through, maybe make some headway, because I have 63 notifications here. So I've got a lot of answering to do. So let's see which of these. Okay, so the first one I have here, and I'm not going to mention people's names just to give them the anonymity, but questions for you. It says, why does my ex keep acting like we're still together? Okay, so why does your ex still act like you're still together? Well, part of that is probably habit. The other thing is that as human beings, you know, we are a species of polarity where you have male, female, and there is something to female energy and there's something to masculine energy. And the male energy seeks out female energy, which is oftentimes why you see when couples break up, you know, you have a boyfriend and a girlfriend that will break up. More often than not, it's very common for men to still want to be friends with that female because they still want to benefit from that female energy, the femininity of that woman. And so the truth of the matter is that as a woman, that's really not in your best interest to remain friends with a guy who you had a romantic interest in. And now they still want to be a benefactor of that, but they're no longer in a relationship with you. So that's why I think that this particular individual is wanting to act like you're still together, even though you're not. And when you first break up, I think there's a little bit of confusion and you have to undo what you've done. You know, it took time for you guys to come together and become a couple. And now there's that uncoupling. And my encouragement to you is you want to do a conscious uncoupling and take care of yourself. And I have a video, if you look on my YouTube channel, 5 steps to getting over a breakup. As soon as you break up with someone, you need to take care of yourself. Take care of your heart, take care of your spirit, take care of your emotions, take care of your vessel. And there are 5 steps that you can do the same day that you experience a breakup that will give you an incredible relief, which when I did it not expecting to have an immediate relief. I knew that it would provide me a relief, you know, over the days to come, but I had no idea that immediately it was going to give me the relief that I experienced. And it has been the same for the men and women that I have guided through that process, which eventually led me to doing to that video because it was too cumbersome to one-on-one do it repeatedly. And so I created that video. So I will put that in the description of this video so that you have that at your beck and call if you choose to want to check that out. And feel free to put a comment below if you have any further questions about that. And my private clients do have access to, I have videos that are more specialized that go each in much greater detail, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. But just that video alone that I gave you talking about those 5 steps should be sufficient. You shouldn't need anything else other than that. Okay, the next question. This one's about miracles. And it says, if someone asked you to list a few very credible miracles with strong evidence, which one would you pick? Wow, that's a fantastic question. And luckily, if I were to just look over the last 12 months, or if I were to just look between 2019 and 2020, I have a whole series of videos, audios, pictures of documented miracles that I was able to create by using the meditative practices which Dr. Joe teaches in Becoming Supernatural, and the book that right now we're reviewing, reading, and reapplying called Breaking the Habit of Becoming Yourself. and using the Dr. Joe teachings of meditation. So yes, I mean, I think I think it was while I was doing the review of Becoming Supernatural, I even showed on my phone how I documented one of one of the challenges that I had when I was living in Italy last year, where I actually had I was able to document this too, where my car got locked in a parking lot in Vietri sul Mare, which is on the Amalfi Coast. And I was there for a ceramics class and to tour the beautiful city. It's known because of, their 600-year history of creating ceramics. And I took a ceramics class there, and then I toured the town, and then I was done around 9 o'clock at night. I went back to get my car out, and then it was locked. And literally in less than 15 minutes, I was able to manifest someone to come and unlock that. And I was able to successfully get my car out, even though it was 9 o'clock. That the first video that I did where it showed that I had the challenge, of course. And then less than 15 minutes later, black car showed up, smoked windows, two guys, came out, opened the lock and got out. I was like, never even made eye contact with me. And I also have videos of manifesting some glasses, which was another miracle, and then having my phone stolen, and I had a complete stranger. So I have quite a few. So I would mention those two of manifesting I had a lost phone in Canada. I left it on a Delta airplane, and then I've got pictures and documentation of that. That took 5 weeks. And then I had another time where my phone fell out of my backpack while I was horseback riding in Sardinia. And then I had another gentleman who we manifested, getting the phone back. And that took about an hour. And then I had my phone actually stolen while I was also in Sardinia. And an hour later, got that phone back. It was crazy. It was like, but at that point, I already knew that the meditations work and I could create in 5D. So I knew each time that I needed to not freak out, hit the pause button, slow down my heart rate, slow down my brain waves, slow down my breath. And then I needed to create this in quantum once I had heart and brain coherence. And that's what this YouTube channel really is about, is to help you with love and money secrets and how you can do this too, which is why we're doing the study of Becoming Supernatural. Now we're reading the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And here we are answering these questions now on Quora. So next question, how many people go to their grave with a broken heart? Wow, I'm not really qualified to answer that question, but I'm afraid that probably a lot of people go to their grave with a broken heart. Unfortunately, what I've witnessed, what I've seen and what I've noticed throughout my lifetime is that a lot of people are really disconnected, men and women alike. Maybe more men than women, but really people are genuinely afraid to deal with their emotions, especially unwanted emotions. And what we don't realize is that we're squandering and not making use of the full power that we have inside us to not only live our lives and to feel passionate and to feel good about ourselves and feel in integrity of who we are, but we're so afraid of being rejected by another person. And we are so afraid of acknowledging, maybe a connection or a spark that you might have with another human being, whether it's male to male, female to female, female to male, and vice versa. And that's, if you really think about it, it's such a sad state of affairs. How often I've witnessed so often where I see, a gal who really likes a guy and a guy that really likes a gal. And I know both of them, and she's too afraid to say anything or give off any airs that she might be interested in. And he's apprehensive too, for whatever reason. And so the two of them are negating themselves and each other of the love that they both want and feel for each other, but neither are willing to move forward. And of course, that's what you see, unrequited love that you see in movies and so forth. But, you know, in real life, it's like, boy, that is just such a sad thing. So I think many people do go to their grave with a broken heart. I think sometimes people stay married to the wrong person, and the person that they truly love, they never free themselves to go pursue really the love of their life because it's cowardice. It's just pure, they're afraid. They're afraid to explore the unknown. They're afraid to allow themselves to completely, fully feel. And instead, they lead a life of quiet desperation. So I couldn't give you a number or quantify this, but I'm afraid that the numbers are higher than what they should be, in my opinion. Meaning of a person visiting you in a dream on the anniversary of the day they passed away. Whoa. Okay, so the spiritual world asks me here, meaning of a person visiting you in a dream on the anniversary of the day that they passed away. Well, this is not, this is what I call a gut incidence. This is not something to be ignored or to pass off as a coincidence or not a big deal. There's obviously some communication that is trying to be conveyed to you. There's an energy, there's an emotion, there is a message that they're trying to get your attention. And I would pay close attention to what was said, how it was said, and how, the most important of all of those things, how you felt when they were conveying to you whatever the message was, whatever they were revealing to you. Did it make you feel hopeful? Did it make you feel happy? Did it make you feel afraid? Did it make you anxious? Did it freak you out? No matter what the emotion is, pay attention to the way it made you feel. And if it's prompting you to take action in a certain direction, pay attention to that too. Same, the spiritual world is asking me another question. How does one communicate with their beloved who recently passed? And will my late brother communicate or show us a sign of if we're doing right or watching or watch over us? Okay, so I can only speak from my own personal experience and my, you know, my personal reality. So how does one communicate with their beloved who's recently passed? Very simple. Okay, first thing that I've learned about this, and my whole life I've had people who passed on who have revealed themselves after passing. And this is something that my father is the same way, my grandmother is the same. It's something that I guess runs in our family line. But one of the things that I learned about recognizing this is that once you're out of the energy of grieving for the loss of someone, and you're now in a more neutral state where you're more accepting of the fact that they had to pass away. And of course, it's different when you have somebody that's young that passes away, that's unexpected. That's a harder grief process, I think, than somebody who was, you know, 90 or 100 years old who passes, because that person led a complete full life and it was able to do everything that they intended to during their lifetime. They had that opportunity. Their life wasn't perceived as being cut short. But the quicker you can get to this point where you can resolve the grief and let it go, and then just be in a, instead of having yourself define that person's life by the day in which they died and how they died, and you can now define that person's life and their memory and their energy that still exists as the culmination of all the days that they were on the planet. And simply, just like their birth date was just one moment in time, their death date is also just one moment in time. The greater collection of experience and energy was really between those two dashes and moment in time. And so celebrating all of the wonder that they brought during those 2 points in time is what you need to celebrate. When you can be in that space that you can celebrate that person's existence, then you are open and receptive to then being able to hear from them and communicate with them. And it doesn't matter if your eyes are open or your eyes are closed. The energy doesn't care. We as people, we care, eyes open or eyes closed. It might help you to just close your eyes and quiet yourself. You may feel a warm energy all of a sudden around you, or you may feel a cold energy all of a sudden around you. You might have all your windows closed and you might feel all of a sudden like a breeze that will, that's them. You might have a scent. Maybe it could be either the perfume or the cologne. If it's a guy, maybe their cologne, or even sometimes, if it's a woman that you really loved dearly, you may smell roses, even if she didn't wear rose perfume. But if you smell roses, it's because of the tremendous amount of love that you felt for that woman and that woman felt for you. It could be your grandmother, it could be your aunt, it could be your godmother, just a woman that you love dearly that was close to you, whether you're a man or woman makes no difference. Now that female has left, and maybe you'll have a strong smell of roses, and you're like, well, that's peculiar because I don't have roses in here. It doesn't make any sense that you would smell those roses, and yet you're smelling that very distinctly. It's possible that you might hear a voice, or you may have a certain sense of that person, and that's them. The energy of them is around you. So that's how you communicate with your beloved. It says, will my late brother communicate or show a sign if we're doing right or watching over us? Yeah, they can. They can communicate to you. Energy is never created or destroyed. So now that they have shed their meat suit and they no longer are here incarnate, now that energy is all around you all the time. How sensitive you are to paying attention to them, because they're gonna show you signs if you're paying attention and if you're open to it. And if you ask them, you may, with your voice out loud or in your mind, they don't care either way. You can say, hey, show me a sign that we're on the right track here. Showing me, if you were here, that this is something that you would be approving of, or maybe in the negative, maybe that you would disapprove of. It's better to keep things, I think, in the positive. Show me a sign that you approve of us moving in this direction. We're going to do this in your memory, or we're going to move the business or the family affairs in this manner. Give us a confirmation that we're going in the right direction, and you'll get something that will pleasantly surprise you. You might look into the clouds and all of a sudden see something that you'll know when you see it. So, okay, so the next one is, what impact does the food we eat have on us spiritually? This is a controversial question, because some people will say, oh, if you're just eating meat and potatoes and it's all Monsanto food, you're going to be completely disconnected. And the only way to really get spiritually centered and connected to your higher self and your inner being is going to be, you have to eat not just all organic food, but you have to eat all vegetarian or vegan, and there's a certain amount of truth to that. However, in my more advanced studies, now that I have attended Dr. Joe's monastery in Cancun and soon to be in Costa Brava, Spain, and all the experiences that I've had, doesn't matter what you eat. What matters is your inner practice, because your body is a protein making mechanism. We have 23,688 genes. We have 50 trillion cells head to toe, and our body produces a pharmacopoeia of up to 140,000 chemicals. Everything from vasopressin to benzodiazepine to dimethyltryptamine to oxytocin to melatonin to serotonin, melatonin to put you to sleep, serotonin to wake you up. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And depending on what combination of those 140,000 chemicals and those proteins will upregulate or downregulate your genes to express or to cease to express wellness or diseases in your body, irrespective of what you're eating. What you're eating is material, matter to matter. When you're doing the meditative practice, you're going a level above matter. And now you are going into 5D quantum, and total game changer. You are not held and bound to the laws that are here in 3D. You're on a much higher realm. So that trumps everything. The impossible becomes possible. So my response to you would be, food does have a certain impact on you, but if you do incorporate a meditative practice and you follow the formula, then no. That being said, I would not suggest that you say, okay, because I can create in 5D, I'm just going to stuff my face with fast food 3 times a day, 24/7, 30 days a week, because after all, your body is the home for your soul. It's the temporary free house that you have for as long as you're here. And so you want to treat it well and feed it good food. Okay, so answering the next one. So the next one is dating advice request here. How do I deal with my emotions of not being able to see my boyfriend because we both work so much? We both graduated high school and have been together for 6 years. Well, I would encourage you to speak up and tell your boyfriend that it saddens you, and just tell him how you feel. And rather than festering with these bad feelings and feeling frustrated and sad that you can't see him that much because both of you are working so much, say, you know what? It really feels bad to me that, we're working all these crazy hours, and, we've been together for 6 years, but we hardly see each other. And I don't know, I don't know that you or I could do anything differently, because there's only so many hours in the day, but I just need to let you know, and you don't have to do anything, but I just want you to hear, and I want you to know that it feels bad to me that we can't spend we haven't been able to, because it's past. In the past, you haven't been able to, but that doesn't mean that today and tomorrow you won't. But maybe by your expressing that, maybe something that will spark a conversation where he may say, yeah, it feels really bad to me too. I really don't like it either. And it bothers me that, before I know it, 2, 3, 4 days have gone by and I haven't been able to see you either. And then maybe you guys will maybe be able to work something out where that can change. And then both of you will be happier. But you have to be willing to be in tune and in contact with those emotions, and let him know. It's like, you know what, I just want to tell you how I feel. I'm not blaming you or me or anybody. I just need you to know that this doesn't feel good to me. And then maybe something will change. Maybe nothing will change, but you're acknowledging your feelings is a way of you stepping in your own power. And after you tell him, you can ponder. It's like, okay, what would I need to do in order to make this feel better for myself? And then don't be surprised if certain revelations are presented to you. You could go to sleep and it wake up with an answer, or you may have things come from all sorts of different areas. So, next question. I get caught by logging into my boyfriend's social media. One of my reasons for logging into his account is he's always lying. Now he's mad at me. I know I'm wrong. What should I do? Okay. I get caught by logging into my boyfriend's social media. First of all, this is a breach of privacy. It's none of your business for you to be logging into his social media unless he said, hey, here's my username and password. I want you to log into my account. I want you to make this post for me. But that's a fear-based response. You are afraid, obviously. You haven't said here that you're afraid of him cheating, but you obviously don't trust him. And you have boundary issues because you're willing to breach his privacy and log into his social media. That's no different than you grabbing his wallet and rifling through his wallet. That's not okay. It's none of your business. You should not be rifling into his social media account. You should not be looking in your boyfriend's wallet. You should not be breaking into his cell phone, trying to see what text messages or what phone calls he's making to other people. That's not okay. On the flip side, it's not okay for him to do that to you either. And you put one of my reasons for logging into his account is he's always lying. If he's always lying, I would encourage you to leave him. If he's lying to you, he's going to lie to you about all sorts of things. Why would you want to be with somebody who's lying to you? That should be an instant turnoff. The moment somebody lies to you and they're constantly lying and cheating and betraying you, I don't know about you, but for me, that's an instant turn off. Turn off. I would want to have nothing to do with someone like that. I would love myself way too much to allow that type of treatment, and I know that I deserve better. And I don't want to be with somebody who's lying and cheating. It's like, you know what? Done. Completely done. Out of here. I would move on, and I would spend some time alone before you end up in another relationship, because otherwise you're going to attract another liar into your life. So of course this guy's going to be mad at you. You have crossed a boundary. This is a breach. You know you're wrong. You already admitted it here. And what should you do? I already told you what you should do. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. The bottom line is, if I were you, I would get out and I would start to work on myself. And if you have a hard time being by yourself, then check out the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which we're actually reviewing right now on Love and Money Secrets TV. Okay, next question. Are there any twin flames out there who want to start dating other people? The answer would be, the short answer is yes. Of course, there are people who are twin flames. Everybody has a soulmate and a twin flame. That's how, it's something inherent to everybody's soul. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that everybody is going to meet the soulmate. You know, we have multiple soulmates. So you're not going to meet the soulmate that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, or the twin flame, or in some people's instances, you have a soulmate who also happens to be a twin flame that is supposed to be there forever after. There's a lot of combinations and so forth. Some people are so disconnected that they don't want to hold out for the right person for them. They just want to be with somebody rather than be alone. That's a different personality type. So your question is, are there twin flames out there who want to start dating other people? Yeah, the answer is yes, for all sorts of different reasons. This question is not asking me to unpack that, so I'm not going to go there. But short answer is yes. Next question has to do with the emotions. It says here, emotions. Do you have thoughts you can't seem to control? No matter how hard you try to fight the feeling away, it will always seem to come back. I'm going to say, do you have thoughts you can't seem to control? I think everybody can control their thoughts. You may have, I think certain personalities have more obsessive, like compulsive, obsessive type behavioral thought patterns than others. But I think ultimately we all can control our thoughts. However, if you tell yourself that you can't control your thoughts, then you're not going to be able to. Because whatever you tell yourself you can or cannot do, your brain is not prejudiced one way or the other. It's like gravity. Gravity doesn't care whether you believe in gravity or not. If you jump off a building, you're subject to the laws of gravity. It's going to pull you down. Whether you're tall, whether you're heavy, whether you're light, whether you're short, doesn't matter. It's going to pull you down. So your brain takes whatever it is that you focus on, and if it's good or if it's bad, if you think only bad things happen to me and that's all you're focused on, looking at the glasses half empty, why do always bad things happen to me? Then you're going to get a lot of bad things happening to you, and more bad things are going to happen to you because that's where your focus is. If your thought is, I'm the luckiest woman alive, oh my gosh, I have all these cool things that are happening to me, and that's where your attention is, you actually have a part in your brain called the reticular activating system that's responsible for this. As the RAS focuses on any one thing, it brings you more of it. That's why when you buy a white Honda, let's say you buy a white Civic Honda, the day after you buy it and you're driving your white Civic Honda, you see not only a ton of other white Civic Hondas, but you see a lot of other cars that look like white Civic Hondas. You're like, oh my gosh, that's not a Honda, it's a Nissan, or it's a Ford, or it's a whatever. And you're like, it looks just like a white Civic Honda. That's because that's the RAS's job. So my answer to you is, pay attention to what you're thinking, and believe it or not, you can control your thoughts. And in fact, Dr. Joe Dispenza wrote an entire book precisely on that. Lucky you. We happen to be reading, reviewing, and applying it on Love and Money Secrets TV. So I encourage you to join us, pick up the book on Amazon or his website, and read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself to create a new and improved you. Next question. How do you feel when someone tells you they will be back and never come back? Well, there's a couple things I'm going to tell you here. First of all, how do I feel when someone tells you they'll be back and they never come back? I could feel bad, but what good does it do for me to feel bad that they didn't come back? I might just observe, the place where I'm at now. It's like, now I don't take offense to people if they do that. That now just is not a reflection on me. It doesn't make me feel as a lesser person if they didn't come back. If they didn't come back, that's more of a reflection on them than it is on me. So I pay attention, not just the words that people say. I pay attention to the actions. Do their words and their actions match? Because that tells me something about their character and their attitudes and their integrity. It's no different than, I know women who get so offended if a guy cheats on them. That is not a reflection on you, ladies. If someone cheats on you, man or woman, if someone has cheated you, someone has betrayed you, you shouldn't feel bad that you are less than, that you weren't worthy, that you weren't good enough. No. That's backwards thinking. They're showing you the level of their brokenness when they do that to you. They're trying to inflict on you the level of pain that they have to show you why they can't be with you. Why is that a character flaw of yours? It's not. It's a lie that it's a character flaw. It's not that you fell short. They fell short. And so don't be hurt when people show you that aspect of themselves. This person who tells you that they will be back and they never come back, they're showing you who they truly are. When someone tells you who they are, and more important, when someone behaves in a manner that reflects who they are, pay attention and believe them and take note. Okay, next question. Why do I feel relieved my ex is moving out? Why? Because you guys are supposed to go in separate ways. It's not a good fit. Obviously, there's been a lot of stress, a lot of contention, a lot of heavy energy. If you feel relieved that your ex is moving out, you're moving forward and you're moving on to opening up the energy in your life so that you're going to allow now the right person to come into your life. That's why you feel relieved. So bravo to you that you got your ex to move out, and now you're stepping in your power, and now you're taking care of you. And before you know it, you'll be able to allow the right person to come into your life. When you're in a loving relationship, it's not supposed to be hard work. It really isn't. I mean, there's so much bad information when it comes to love out there. And so I am here to tell you, it's not supposed to be hard work. You're not supposed to be toiling. You're not supposed to control each other. There's a lot of things you're not supposed to do because, the ancient scriptures, the clue is there. Love is patient. Love is kind. It's not boastful. It doesn't keep a record of rights or wrongs. It's not jealous. So pay attention, my friends and gems, pay attention. So next, I think this is going to be the last one because we're almost at the 30-minute mark here. My boyfriend's ex is trying to become his friend and add him on social media and is texting him a lot. I'm afraid this will ruin our relationship. What do I do? Okay. You're asking me here, my boyfriend's ex is trying to become his friend and add him on social media. First of all, this is none of your business. What people do, you can barely control yourself. And you most definitely can't control your boyfriend, and you most definitely cannot control everybody that your ex has ever known or will know, or anyone who's interested in him, for starters. So give up that losing battle. That is a colossal waste of time, colossal waste of energy. And it just shows to you, because that's the only person that you can control with much difficulty, albeit, it just shows you the level of fear that you have of loss. And if you fear that you're going to lose him, you will lose him. Make no mistakes. The man or the woman who tells you, I don't want to lose you, will lose you, because they're revealing that their inside thought is, I'm going to lose you, which is why their outward words are telling you, I don't want to lose you. Their focus is on loss already. At 100% of the time that I've seen or heard people say, oh, I don't want to lose her, I don't want to lose him, they end up losing each other. So that's the first thing. And it's none of your business who adds him to their social media. That really is none of your business. You're saying here, trying to become his friend, adding him on their social media, and is texting him a lot. All things you can't control. I'm afraid this will ruin our relationship. The way you think about your relationship, the fact that your focus is on this, yeah, you're right. You are ruining your relationship. This is showing you more about you than it is about him. The way you're coping with this. This is a mirror. So you need to sit in silence, maybe face yourself in a mirror and say, why? What is it that I'm so afraid of? What is it in myself that makes these circumstances that I have no control over, it's causing me so much angst and so much grief? That is the greater question. And I'm going to refer you to a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Pick it up on Amazon and read it with us here on Love and Money Secrets TV every night, Monday through Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're reading that book, reading it, reviewing it, and applying it. I'm going to leave it with, that's going to be the last question I'm going to answer. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in, turning on, answered a good number. I didn't count how many, but I'll put in the description below the timestamps, and I'll list the questions so that you can find the corresponding answer to whatever questions you had. Thank you, thank you, thank you, you guys. We got to 6,000 views in the last 30 days. That's very exciting. Thank you for those of you who have put donations too. It's been very exciting this last week to go to my PayPal account and I see all these extra donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It makes it possible for me to continue producing these videos, editing, and doing everything that's required. As you know, it takes a lot of time and energy to not only create these videos, create these answers, but also to get all the different digital assets and all the editing components in order to successfully get this up on the YouTube channel. So thank you. This is a live stream. We will have the edited version of this, of course, on Love and Money Secrets TV. So thank you. Last but not least, if you want a quick and easy way to get to Love and Money Secrets TV, all you have to do is type in your browser, DameLillianWalker.com, and it'll take you straight to Love and Money Secrets TV, the YouTube channel. So thank you. And of course, ciao for now.